Greetings once again, all you supersonic warriors out there. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with IDW's Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, previously, after Surge and Dr. Eggman had finally been stopped, and Sonic is off on another globe-trotting adventure, everyone else is taking it easy. Amy takes the relic that she found, Rouge found in Eggman's base, back to Knuckles, and they bond for the most part and talk about Knuckles potentially getting off the island every once in a while, or at least maybe getting some help. Meanwhile, Clutch, who started up a new operation, Clean Sweep Inc., all about cleaning up the aftermath of Eggman's exploits for, a little bit of pay, brings in Mimic to pull a little bit of sabotage against the Restoration, because the Restoration does everything pro bono, and that's bad for business. And in most situations, Mimic wouldn't really go for something so high profile. But when he finds out that Whisper and Tangle are involved, he's in for a little bit of revenge. At that same time, the newly formed Diamond Cutter, something that Mimic took particular interest in once he heard that Whisper had allowed the Diamond Cutters to be reborn, essentially, and they're looking for a little bit of assistance, mostly Lanolin. She wants that extra bit of help for the team to really get things in motion. Enter the new character of Duo, who seems to hit it off with the rest of the Diamond Cutters in an instant, only for it to be revealed to us, the audience, once Duo is alone, that of course he's Mimic in disguise. Now the question is, will Mimic catch our heroes by surprise yet again? Or will the Diamond Cutters see through this nefarious scheme? Join me as I find out, won't you? This is a really interesting cover, especially because of the placement of the logo. It's actually incorporated into the cover itself. Alright, let's do this. Alright, Misadventures Part 1, story by Evan Stanley. Colors by Valentina Pinto. Oh, there's two stories. Sightseeing, story by Ian Flynn, pencils by Aaron Handstrom, inks by Rick Mack, colors by my boy Reggie Graham, letters by Sean Lee, editor David Marriott, production Johanna Natalie. Wow. We don't normally get two different stories in most of these, but it makes a bit of sense. I still am under the belief that 2 books would be ideal. That was the golden age of Archie, when you had Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Universe running simultaneously. And I keep hoping for something like that. I mean, if we could get that as well as the side stories we sometimes get, like the miniseries, yes, beautiful. Alright, time for the roll call. Sonic the Hedgehog, the blue blur, fastest thing alive. Tangle the lemur, excitable hero, Diamond Cutter. Whisper the wolf, silent sniper, also Diamond Cutter. Lanolin the sheep, woolen warrior, Diamond Cutter. Whenever I read woolen warrior, I think of like Budai warriors from Shaolin Showdown. Duo the cat. Oh, he's just supposed to be a cat? Interesting. Two-Faced Traitor? Question mark. Diamond Cutter recruit. Silver the Hedgehog, young psychic hero, friend from the future. And Blaze the cat, fire-powered princess and friend from another dimension. Another dimension, another dimension, another dimension, another dimension. Oh, is that Motobud up on the table there? Oh, and I love that the Wisp are like playing with these nuts and bolts. It's good to see that Bella's still hanging out in the garage, doing what she can here and there. Oh, right, trying to fix up Whisper's Wispun, the veritable Wispun. Alright, we pick up with Tangle and Whisper meeting with Belle saying everything's holding up. I officially give you your Wispun a clean bill of health. Whisper just says good. Belle then says, it really is a neat little piece of engineering. There's a lot more I could learn if you're willing to let me keep tinkering with it. Oh, I don't know about that. Tangle then says, you just fixed it and now you want to take it apart again? Belle says, okay, it's safe for now. Whisper has a visible, worried look on her face. The head mechanic dude, or I don't know, I feel like some people called him Grease, but I don't think he officially has a name because you have to run things by Sega nowadays when you want to like make a character a little bit more permanent. That's why when you got a named character in the roll call or something like that, it's just like it is, and you see that they're not someone who's appeared in the games, although both Tangle and Whisper have appeared in the, what was it, Sonic Dash, Sonic Runners thingy? Like, Lanolin has the official Sega stamp of approval. They could use her in games, other media, whatever they want. I don't think they ever will, but they can. The head mechanic comes in up to the girl saying, "Hey Belle, you got those new gaskets ready?" Belle's shocked, saying, "You need those today? Oh jeez." And as the head mechanic walks away, just humming a tune, I guess, Belle starts to panic, saying, "Sorry y'all, I've got a bit of panicking to do." Tangle says, "No worries, we've got to get going anyway. Lenolin's got us on a new training schedule." Of course she does. And as the two leave, Tangle waves to Belle, saying, "Try not to blow anything up this time." Uh-oh. Oh, and then Whisper promptly bumps right into Silver, which is actually kind of shocking, because usually Whisper's a lot more aware of her surroundings than that. As Tangle manages to catch Whisper and Silver falls right on his butt, he says, "Sorry, guess I kinda zoned out." Tangle questions, "Something on your mind?" Silver says, "It's dumb." Tangle says, "Dumb schmum. We won't judge." Much. Silver sulks, saying, "How do you know if you're working hard enough? I don't want to waste my time here, but I'm also supposed to enjoy what I've got. And with Blaze away traveling, learning about the world, I..." And Whisper just says, "Come train with us." Just outright. Oh, so Blaze is out exploring the world, huh? Interesting. Silver gets up saying, "Wait, me? In the diamond cutters?" Tangle says, "Heck yeah, dude, let's do this." Missed opportunity to say let's do it to it, but it is what it is. And Tangle says, "This is gonna be awesome." And so we pick up with Tangle, Whisper, Duo, and Silver meeting with Lanolin, who says, "Alright, Diamond Cutters, the restoration's re-greening effort hasn't reached this part of Green Hill yet, so feel free to really let loose." Oh, this is a section of Green Hill that hasn't been re-greenified? Interesting. Man, Duo is significantly taller than the rest of them. Lanolin then says, "Since we have some new faces today, it's a good time to work on coordinating moves and communicating in the field. If that sounds good to all of you, let's head down to the bottom of the canyon and get started." As everyone heads down and Silver uses his telekinesis to float with Duo looking on like, the heck? Tangle's the first to run down, saying, "Alright, let's kick communications butt." That's not how that works, Tangle. And Duo, who is secretly Mimic, thinks to himself, "The psychic kid, he could be a trouble if I don't play this right." Mimic then approaches Silver, saying, hi, I'm Duo." Silver says, "Silver, you're the new DC recruit, right?" No, this is IDW, not DC. "Man, that's so cool." Duo gives a wry smile, saying, "Oh, I'm nothing special. You, though, I've heard about you. Is it true that you took down Metal Overlord? That you fixed the metal virus?" Silver shrugs, saying, "Well, I helped." Oh, so modest. And Duo says, "You're a legend. I've heard that you can move stuff with your mind. How much can you lift? Like a car?" Like, "How much do you bench, bro?" Silver says, "That's nothing. Check this out." Uh-oh. Though, let's face it, Silver's TK powers are pretty wild. He then proceeds to levitate several rocks, much to the shock of Duo, who says, "Oh, wow." It's like, yeah, nobody really acknowledges that, like, Silver, if he was, like, fully trained and, like, made, like, really skilled, would be unstoppable. We don't have many counters to something like this. And Silver just smugly says, "This really isn't that much, but I don't want to tear down the whole mountain." Meanwhile, down below, Tangle is saying, "Woo! Looking good, Silver." While Lanolin just says, "Can you bring those rocks down here? Maybe we can use them." Uh-oh. Upon hearing this, Duo gives a wicked grin. Uh-oh. And then he kicks Silver's legs out from under him, throwing Silver off balance. Oh, Whisper sees this. Oh, okay. Did she see what Duo had done? And as the rocks begin to fall, Lanolin says, of all the... Not like that! Silver panics, saying, shoot, I'm coming! Oh, there was water nearby. Uh-oh. It seems whatever was holding back some water that was by the cliff face right next to Duo starts to kind of cause some instability as water starts gushing from some cracks in the wall behind Duo. Oh, it was a badnik. There's a giant catfish-like badnik. What game did I see this from? Was it Sonic Generation? Sonic Colors? I can't remember. Regardless, it appears right behind Duo and Silver. Meanwhile, as rocks and water start rushing towards the diamond cutters, Lanolin says, Whisper, can you fly us out? Whisper says, Green's hover isn't fast enough. Yeah, a situation where you really need a, prominent flyer on your team. But Tangle starts twirling her tail saying, I got this. She lashes her tail onto the top of the canyon and pulls the girls to safety saying, Woo! Can we call this move Scorpion Formation? And Lanolin says, less naming, more surviving. And as rocks continue to fall around the girls, Lanolin says, we're not out of this yet. Split up. Whisper, with me. Whisper activates her hover wisp, detaching from Tangle, still holding on to Lanolin. And as they float with the hover, Lanolin brings out her Wispun, which... Does that Wispun have a name? I guess not. I don't think so. But she uses her sound-based Wispun to create a shockwave that destroys several of the falling rocks and debris. Whisper then sets the two of them down at the top of the canyon, with Lanolin saying, not exactly the training I was hoping for. Where are the boys? Tangle looks into the canyon saying, I can't see them. But as she notices the massive catfish badnik, she says, wait, there. She says, wait there. Oh, jeez. We then pick up with Silver and Duo doing their best to hold open the jaws of the badnik that's trying to chomp down on there, with Duo panicking and saying, come on, tear this thing apart already, to Silver. And Silver says, it's a lot harder when they fight back. And as Silver struggles, Duo, Mimic, starts to panic. And he starts to peace out. He just leaves. And as Silver notices, he says, what? Duo? What are you doing? I can't hold this. And the badnik's jaws chomp down, sealing Silver in the beast's maw as Mimic just climbs away. Silver continues to struggle to open the bot's mouth back up, but suddenly an explosion goes off inside the bot's mouth, with the diamond cutters arriving, swinging down on Whisper's tail, with Tangle's tail, sorry. Whisper doesn't have a long enough tail for that. Tangle says, you okay, to Duo? Lanolin questions, where's Silver? Duo sheepishly says, I'm sorry, I couldn't save him. The teeth so big. But he's taken off guard when he suddenly sees the badnik levitated up by Silver, who emerges from the beast's mouth. Silver then chucks the badnik into a wall with a lot of force, destroying it. But Silver angrily points at Duo, saying, you ditched me. Duo shockingly says, ditched? And he tries to explain, I was going to call for help. Silver says, then why didn't you say so? But as Duo has the puppy dog tears on, Lanolin comforts him and admonishes Silver, saying, hey, there's no reason to point fingers. I expected better control from you, Silver. With powers like yours, there's no room for error. Silver looks away, saying, it was an accident. Well, Lanolin says, well, accident or not, next time, do better. It does suck because all Lanolin saw was, rocks falling at her. In a moment that mostly just kind of came off as Silver showing off. Because he kind of was. So I can't blame Lanolin for thinking that Silver was just biting off more than he can chew. But I feel bad for Silver. But Whisper saw that, right? We cut to that night as Silver's sulking outside of one of the entrances to Restoration HQ, on top of the roof of the shed entrance. And suddenly Whisper, who just comes up behind him saying, Silver, and he freaks out, taken off guard. Silver scoots over so Whisper can sit down and he says, sorry, I'm just kinda distracted again. I can't stop thinking about what happened in Green Hill. Something about Duo is just off. When we were trapped in that big fish bot, He was a completely different person. And Whisper simply says, I saw it. Silver questions, saw what? Whisper says, you didn't trip. He kicked you. Silver then says, I could swear I saw his eyes change color. Whisper questions, change how? Silver explains, the white part turned black and his irises turned white. Whisper puts on her mask saying, we're going hunting. Ah, there it is. I do appreciate that. Because the thing is, ultimately, Mimic can't help but show his hand where he can. And he was brought in for sabotage. The thing is, Mimic never accounts for people he's not familiar with. He never should have showed his hand when it came to Silver. He should have bided his time a little bit more, but he's always looking for that opportunity to quickly get one over on his opponent. He saw what seemed like a good opportunity to trip up Silver and have him accidentally crush all of the diamond cutters, and then Silver would be to blame for it. So I can't say I blame him for going for the opportunity, but his biggest mistake was also panicking and going to save his own life, which we know is a typical trait of his. He saw danger and so he cut and run. So if it was only just him tripping up Silver, it would just be Whisper saying, I'm pretty sure I saw him trip you. But she probably wouldn't have said anything because, she might have misseen something. But with Silver now being certain that something's up with Duo, that kind of helps to confirm whatever suspicions that Whisper had. So I kind of like that. Because if Mimic was perfect at his mimicry and didn't take opportunistic moments, he wouldn't be the character that he is. And he really would be too dangerous because he could have taken out so many Sonic characters at this point. But his devious tendencies and his sense of self-preservation will always be his downfall. That helps to balance out the brokenness of how his powers can work sometimes. Oh, and the backup story, where we pick up with Sonic and Blaze running through levels, essentially. Oh, we see the ghosts from the Sonic Unleashed short, down in the sewers for some reason. And as Sonic races alongside Blaze, Blaze says, I'll be honest, Sonic, this was not what I envisioned when you said we'd take the scenic route. And as Sonic ducks underneath a bladed pendulum, he says, we've seen so many tranquil landscapes, I figured you'd like to spice it up a bit. Blaze fire spins over some spikes saying, you're not wrong. However, I'd heard that Spagonia was a especially beautiful city. Silver gives a thumbs up saying, oh, it is. Ready to switch it up then? Blaze simply bows saying, please do. I'll follow your lead. It is actually kind of charming how Blaze does tend to kind of roll with Sonic's impulsivity. They then proceed to dash their way up a section of the sewer, bursting out onto the streets of Spagonia, and then dashing off yet again. Man, freaking Sonic Unleashed level. They race and fly across the rooftops. Man, this is how you could tell really great art, because I am really getting that sense of movement just looking at these panels. As they run across the rooftops, Sonic says, are you good to go up there? The view is worth it, I promise. With Sonic obviously not remembering that Blaze has a bit of a fear of heights. But she says, alright, if you say so. We know that she tends... Honestly, Blaze is like me, where I have a fear of heights, but at the same time, there is a bit of a thrill to me being up high. Like, I will ride a roller coaster and I'll have fun, but I also will be very freaked out. Like, there is an inner panic in me when I'm up high. But it's not a debilitating one, you know? The two then proceed to race up the clock tower up to the face of the clock. Nice. See, just like I said, it's like Blaze has a fear of heights, but here she is standing on the ticking minute hand of this giant clock, with Blaze looking around saying, positively marvelous. The architecture reminds me of my own world. Actually, yeah. Man, I wish we could actually have a level set in Blaze's actual kingdom. Because aside from some artwork that Sega had given to given to IDW to show Blaze's kingdom so we could actually see it for once. We really don't see it. I have to assume that in Rush 2 at one point they were gonna have a level set in Blaze's kingdom. We really need another Rush game or something that highlights Blaze at least a little bit. Sonic says, I didn't get to see too much of it. I'd love to go back and see more. Sonic yawns, saying, before we head back, you want to grab a bite? Restaurant Swaz, pretty classy. Or we could hit up Joseph's if you want something to eat on the run. I do love that Sonic knows about the local cuisine here. As Sonic doesn't get a response, he says, Yo, Blaze. Blaze says, I'm sorry, I can't help but be distracted. Sonic looks out saying, yeah, it's gorgeous out here. He then nervously says, or do you mean you don't like height? Blaze says, neither. You've shown me so many wondrous sights. I've come to love your world as much as my own. We get a montage of seeing Sonic and Blaze getting ice cream. Does Sonic's ice cream have a jalapeno on top? Sonic showing Blaze to a clothing store. Essentially like a date up in the Arctic, where Blaze's fire abilities really come in handy. Blaze looks on, saying, so shouldn't I show it as much dedication? Should I not also strive to protect it? I am the Imperial Princess of the Soul Empire. One could say I'm a representative of my world, my reality. I should be doing more, and Sonic interrupts, saying, tis. You saved your world and all that jazz. You're here for a well-earned vacation. And I don't mean one of those working vacations. Jewel had to explain the idea to me. Sounds like something Eggman would come up with. Oh, explain the idea of a working vacation. Jewel is the kind of person who would take a working vacation. Time away from work to get more work done. Blaze sighs, saying Knuckles said something similar. I love these shots of them on the clock tower. They're really enjoying this angle from them talking. Sonic says, if it's obvious to Knux, it has to be easy to understand. Blaze admonishes him with a smile, saying, be nice. Sonic says, you're right, he can't hear me. I'll save it for later. I love that. Blaze then says, I envy your ability to balance recreation with duty. Perhaps I can learn your ways on our travels. Sonic says, not much to learn. You learn by living. Live and learn. Hanging on the edge of a clock tower. What you see is what you get. I'm just a hedgehog who loves, of course. It wouldn't be Ian Flynn if he wasn't quoting some form of Sonic media. But I personally love that. Oh, suddenly the clock chimes. And I love that Blaze even does the cat pose, the startled cat pose. And as they both startle it, they both cling to the clock tower. Blaze says, with apprehension, I was enjoying the view. I did not require a reminder of how high we are. Sonic laughs. Well, looks like it's time to go anyway. Blaze, detesting the pun, says, must you? As Blaze makes her way down to where Sonic is, he gives her a hand getting somewhat down. They just end up on the hour hand. And Sonic says, I don't mean to tell you what you should do with your time here. I just want you to enjoy yourself. Blaze says, I understand. Perhaps I will count this as a preview. Sonic smiles, saying, sounds like a plan. They're still holding hands, and Blaze notices this and blushes a bit. As Sonic says, I forgot I told Tails and Amy I'd grab them lunch on the way back. Ooh, aw, that's a cute moment. Blaze pulls away from Sonic, and Sonic, not even noticing, says, you cool with grabbing something on the go? I think Swaz only goes by reservations anyway. Blaze, playing the moment off, says, yes, that sounds fine. Ooh, the Sonic and Blaze shippers are gonna love that. I gotta just say, especially even looking at this panel, man, Aaron Hammerstrom just bringing it with the pencils. There's such a sense of character in every panel. It is absolutely stunning. Sonic says, you want the quick way down or the scenic route? Blaze coyly says, actually, scenic or your version? Sonic says, it's kinda both. Blaze waves him off, saying, I'll take my time. Sonic races off, saying, cool, see you at street level. And as Sonic grinds his way down, Blaze uses her fire powers to slowly descend. This was a sweet little story. Not anything like overly extravagant, but just really nice. I will say that maybe it's for the best that these stories aren't like separated into just issues of their own. Although I would appreciate just a whole issue dedicated to Sonic and Blaze just racing through Sonic's world. Well, another story in another book is all about the Diamond Cutters and their situation. But having the shorter page count just kind of works for me. And doing it like this helps to kind of alleviate some issues with previous stories, where it sometimes felt like the story was kind of spinning its wheels in certain situations. Not like the story was bad, just like we had a lot of extra stuff going on. Ah man, I love this cover for the next issue though. It's just a Pepe Silvio meme. Although when I saw the preview of this, it made it seem like Silver thought there was a traitor, which was very Archie, and didn't know who it was, but now that we've gotten to the end of this, it's like, oh no, he straight up knows what's up. The only question now is, how do they bring Mimic out into the open? I do hope that they maybe fill Tangle and Lanolin in on it, but more Lanolin. Tangle will just go with the flow. But then again, she knows what to expect from Mimic. But if they're trying to trap him, don't tell Tangle because she'll give the game away and just confront him outright. But I'm always down for seeing Whisper kick Mimic's ass. So this will be a good time. Again, love the A story, love the B story, like both stories for this issue. Aces, good stuff. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Which was your favorite story? Did you love the adventures of Sonic and Blaze, or did you actually like seeing the inner turmoil of the Diamond Cutters? Again, let me know your thoughts down below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.